What's the best way to find investors for a startup? Well, the answer folks want is not the answer I'm going to give. The best way to find investors for a startup is months or years before you need them, and meeting those folks before you ask for anything, and letting them see over time that you're the kind of person who says you're going to do something and then does something time and time again. But you have to figure out how to get time on their calendars, which is kind of hard unless you're doing something or things that are really interesting to them. Meeting investors in person at conferences or events tends to be the easier path because then you can start out as a person as opposed to an email or message who just blends in and gets crowded out by the noise. But the point is, it's almost always easier to raise capital from people who know you than from people who don't, especially when searching for initial investors to get momentum. There's some truth to the statement that your network is your net worth. I've seen that play out time and time again in my career. It sucks, but it's just how the cookie crumbles. We're social creatures, and our social nature plays out in better opportunities for the people you know. Assuming you don't have the network and haven't built that network ahead of time, there are a few things you can try. But unless you're solving a problem with a technology or innovation that people are going to be bonkers about, it's going to take some time. So set that expectation, be easy on yourself. Raising capital from investors is hard, and there's no shame in having a hard time going after hard things. If you don't have the network, still, hitting in-person events where investors might be is a great strategy, but the key is to not try and sell them immediately. So genuinely try to get to know them and tell them about what you're doing and see if you align. Even if they aren't interested in what you're offering, they may introduce you to someone else who is, who you'd then be a warm introduction to, which is always better than cold outreach. The other strategy is getting into some sort of startup accelerator program. Those often have pitch events at the end where you'll get to pitch a bunch of investors and build some fundraising traction. And some of the accelerators will back you, invest in your company with non-dilutive sources of capital. But you can also just do the good old-fashioned cold outreach thing to individual angel investors via LinkedIn. I talk about LinkedIn Sales Navigator a lot, which is great for that. You should check it out. But then also just searching for pre-seed venture funds. Those firms invest in the earliest stage startups, and it's always better if you've built something, but many will also just invest in the right founders plus ideas. That's probably a good place to stop. I hope that helps. If it did, can you help me help 1,000 founders build 1,000 startups by visiting Chiedo.com AMA and hitting the repost button? Don't hesitate to ask. If you have another question in the future, catch you later.